camera, you can't put the camera down
over.
because as soon as it's over, as soon as you do, you're like, man, I can't believe I missed that. And he does something all the time.
Your phone battery better be on 100 when Trinity
Better
is
be on
playing.
full. It better be on full. And as soon as he touches the rock, if he grabs the ball off the goal,
Boy.
you know, some players, you can start following them once they finish half and it starts getting into the set. No, as soon as he takes the ball off the rim, you have to follow him all the way up the court. And he's probably one of the smartest players, I think, just IQ, basketball IQ, on just managing the game, just understanding where players are. He's one of the smartest players I watched play for sure.
Yeah, he got a Hall of Fame break starter, Hall of Fame downhill badges on 2K, all that, because he be out of
all
there.
That.
He be out of there, and his vision is so crazy that you would think that he had like 40-40 vision or something, because he'd be seeing stuff that's in the back of somebody else's head. And you know, Dacian's one of those players that you get excited about watching every night, you know, and he didn't have the best talent around him on his team, but he made work with what he had. You know, he made the grind session tournament 3 years straight with pretty much, you know, no other 4 stars, no other 5 stars, no other 3 stars, no 2 stars. You know, they were just kids that, you know, that they had to get from somewhere. And these guys accepted the role with Dacian. And Dacian's so much of a leader and so much of a great point guard that he pushed those guys to play at a different level that they didn't even know they had, and they were able to compete with top grind session teams. You know, they played teams like Prolific and Dream City and Our Savior to like the last couple minutes to the game type stuff. You know, it wasn't one of those games where you would be like, oh, we know Trinity doesn't have, you know, the absolute best talent, but we know they still ain't gonna get blown out.
Yeah, for sure. I think the couple of things, and I don't know, I'm sure a lot of it is just natural ability, and you put natural ability with a coach like Coach Locke, who I'm sure instilled a lot of things into Dacian and helped him improve as a player, but just ball handling, ball control, understanding angles, whether it's against defenders or if it's around the basket, his ability to finish around the basket, again, probably the best finisher in high school basketball. Just if you're not dunking, you're not going to be able to dunk everything. It's just not possible. Jalen will take off on you, and there's a couple other guys who will take off on you. But just understanding where you are on around the basket and how you can manipulate the ball and to still score around bigger defenders, man, that dude, he can do it all, man.
And it's so crazy because you say, like, you know, Jalen can take off, and Dacian, like, I see him take off too, where it's just like, I'm like, bro, are you finna boom on somebody? And then he'll just last minute just fillet, and I'm just looking at him like, yo, like, that was soft, but I like it.
Yeah, I like it. And he can dunk. He shows some.
He can dunk. Now, don't get him wrong. He can dunk.
Yeah, he can.
I remember this summer
them lays be clean though.
Yeah, them lays. You know, it was. And when I said it was soft, it was a joke. You know, it ain't nothing soft about it. He be having the toughest layups. You know, it ain't like he ain't meeting body to body with somebody every time at the rim, finishing layups over 7-footers. You know, and it's like you say, he manipulates the ball to where, you know, you could think you have the best defense and you could be long and think you gonna deny him, and he's gonna get up and around you and put that ball and find the bottom of the net somehow.
And so many defenders you see just sit there and just be like, bro, what was that?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, like, night in, night out, you was looking at the stat sheet like triple-double. Is it approaching? You know, rebounds, assists, and points, you know. And he's not a score-first point guard. He is a pass-first point guard, but he will score at will.
Absolutely. So and I think this is something that I want to say here, and I also wanted to put something out on social to say it, because I think a lot of players, when they're watching other players and trying to emulate their paths, is they think, oh, I have to play on a big-time shoe circuit to be successful. I think Dacian broke the mold and showed everybody that you do not have to play on a shoe circuit to get to UCLA or even to make the jump straight to pros from high school. That dude never touched the shoe circuit, and that is crazy, because I even thought last year, I was like, man, he's not going to play, you know, this one or that one. Nah, he's not. He did the big events. He did an NBPA, but he never played on the shoe circuit. And to be able to make it to where he is, again, that's testament to the grind session and to the people and the coaching staff, and having the confidence in himself to say, I don't need that to be able to get to where I want to go. Everybody's path isn't the same, and he definitely broke the mold on that one, and that's huge.
No EYBL, no Under Armour,
No
Reebok, no Adidas,
no
ground session, and
That's
AAU
hard.
ball for his coach, Simply Fundamental, and them Pangos camps, the NBPA, and all that work from the beginning got him to where he is now.
That's hard.
Man, it don't get no better than that, dog.
Mm-mm.
Those are our 3 grind session guys that are going to the G League. Might as well be the GS League, Grind Session League. If y'all want to trademark that, y'all go ahead and send it my way. We can do that. You feel me? Before we, close out on this episode, we could talk about the 5 other pros. We had 3 guys sign with Chameleon BX. That's a Hale's trainer down in Cali. They're gonna get the training with him and try to get ready for the league. You got Kyrie Walker. Unfortunately, he wasn't on Grind Session this year, but he was the past few years. I remember Kyrie from, one of my very first action shots that I had got. And he had came down, stole a ball from someone, did a crazy windmill, screamed, and literally looked directly at my camera and was just like, yeah, that's me. That's me. And from that point on, I was like, oh, yeah, that's him.
That's him. That's how you
him.
feel. I can already see the look. I can see the look on your face. Just okay. I see.
Yeah, that's him. Because when something exciting, I'm always out the corner of my eye. I'm always looking at you, and we got that telepathy. Yeah. It's like, it was like that, bro.
Yeah, you do that mental check. Okay, got to keep up with that one. That young guy's a killer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to Kyrie for signing with them. Also, Mr. Beauchamp, Mr. Beauchamp, Marjan Beauchamp. His season ended with an injury that was gruesome. We thought that it was going to be one of those injuries we thought it was going to be very gruesome, but unfortunately he was able to recover, and he's back to training now, and hopefully they can get right with him and get together. Marjan was one of those players. I remember the very first tournament. He was at the free throw line and he missed those free throws. And they lost to Prolific by that Namari buzzer beater. And after the game, Marjan, I could see him. He was just beating himself up. But instead of, crying or any of that, he went and got some balls, got to the free throw line. And shout out to Arthur Kaluma. Boy, he's going to have a great season on the Grind Session next year. But shout out to Mr. Kaluma. He sat there and he rebounded for Marjan for hours, shooting free throws. Marjan sat there and shot free throws until he couldn't shoot no more, just because he had missed the end of the 1-and-1, which had, helped Prolific push for that buzzer beater and win the game. And, I seen some in Marjan, and, he can push, and if he keeps his attitude right, keeps his head on straight, he could go much further than what anybody thinks he can, A lot of people were wondering why he was committed to the draft at the beginning of the season, and he's just one of those guys that's going to defy the odds.
Yeah, shout out Marjan, man. Marjan is another one of those players, man, and that's why, I think social media and highlights and mixes and the talk is necessary. It's not going away, but you really need to know who players are and meet players to actually know who you're talking to. Kyrie too, but seeing Marjan this year. Man, one of the coolest dudes I think that was on the Grind Session. Just really chill, great people person, great around kids and asking for autographs, and just how he dealt with media and talking to people. I really commend him on being a good person off the court, and then his play, man. Marjan, just his shooting ability. Marjan can flat out shoot it, man. If you let him get hot, man, he's gonna roll off on you.
Green bean.
Yeah, he gonna fill it up, and his awareness, his ability to handle and shoot off the dribble, shoot off the screens. I think those are all things that are gonna really help him at the next level. And I'm interested to see. Again, everybody's path isn't the same, and we need to just try to help the players instead of trying to knock them or knock their decisions because they didn't make what people think is the traditional route. And people never talk about if Arizona or any school decommitted from a player. We're bringing somebody else in, or we're going to take this grad transfer or this transfer over, I'm sorry. Like, that's not talked about,
Mm-hmm.
So why, when the player decides to make a different change, do we come down on the players? So I think we need to ease up on them and just kind of let them find their own way. But I'm excited to see Marjan as well. I think he works hard and is a good guy. And I think he's going to be able to exceed expectations as well.
Yeah, he's one of those kids that is very misunderstood. First time I met Marjan, we just kicked it like from the
Yep.
get go. It was like from the interview, the very first interview I had with him, I was like, oh yeah, I like this kid. And as
Yep.
soon as the interview ended, it was like we exchanged social medias, Instagrams, and ever since then, it was like I kind of feel like he's like a little brother to me type. He comes to Kentucky and he's like, hey, what you on? Let's kick it. I go
Yep.
to I go to Phoenix and he even we're in his city. He's like, "What's up? Let's kick it." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm supposed to be asking you to kick it. You going to the league? I'm trying to ask you to kick it. Give me a chance
Yeah.
to ask you to kick it. You ain't gotta ask me to kick it, man. I'm trying to go kick it with you. You feel me?
Yeah.
And shout out to Marjan's pop. He's always showed me hospitality. He's a great person.
Yeah,
And
he is.
he's done a good job of keeping Marjan's head on straight. Yakima
Yeah.
OG, Yakima Washington. Swear to.
Yeah, he is cool too. I got a chance to sit next to him at a lot of the games. Man, that dude just passionate, loves the game, and you definitely like to see that when people like the sacrifices that the parents are making. The players are making huge sacrifices, but man, the sacrifices that the parents are making, and those guys traveling around the country, Namari's parents, and you get to know the parent, PJ's parents, like you get to know and see the parents. And I think that's, again, they deserve their roses too for helping these guys through this process, which is a crazy, crazy process.
Super crazy.
Yeah.
We were talking the other day about, Jessie and how she's a guru and how she knows everything. Jessie
Yeah.
Brewer, she's behind the scenes. We had another Chameleon BX guy. I had no clue that he used to be on the grind session at all. Apparently, he used to play for Trinity and he played with Dacian. JD DeSasa, 2018-2019 season, he was on Trinity Prep for the grind session. Like I said, I had no clue, but the guru just remembered automatically as soon as she seen his name. Was like, oh yeah, he was with us. And I'm like, what do you mean he was with us? You're like, played for Trinity Prep with Dacian. I was like, well, I guess that's another guy that that can get added to the list. And then we got McCour. He played with the Tech Academy. He was on the grind session in 2016, 2017.
Uh,
He's likely putting his name in the draft. He said college is still open, but he's probably going to go to the draft. Gemma Gatwich, he was on Believe Prep. He's been on the grind session for a couple years. He was on Believe Prep in 2017, 2018. And this year he played post-grad at Core 4. And then
yep.
Mr. Newman. Mr. Newman has committed to play overseas, I'm pretty sure.
Prodigy.
Yeah, man. Hopefully he can get something going, man. Maybe somebody will take a chance on the man. He's a pure shooter. He can shoot. He's got some handles. You put him in the right situation. I'm sure he can do something for you.
Especially, and I'm not familiar with exactly where he's headed. But I think just bringing that excitement around the game and that energy.
Huge social
I
media
haven't
presence.
seen
Huge social media
how many
presence.
players have you seen that they walk into a gym, like you said, Julian, they're from Florida, to walk in a gym in Kentucky and kids following them no matter what time they play, they're there. The love and support that they have and that they built, man, that's amazing.
I'm telling you,
To
man.
build that up, man, that's impressive.
I coach middle school football and basketball. I'm telling you, every time they come in town, it's like they know it before me, and I work for the grind session. They're like, hey, I know Julian's coming in town this week, Coach. Can you get me in the event? I'm like, all right, I got you. Just come on.
Yeah,
I know y'all
yeah.
want to see him. I'm sure somebody will take a chance on him. And like I said, in the right situation, Julian can do good for you. He can score. He can pass in the right situation. He just has to, realize that he's gonna have to learn how to be a true point guard instead of trying to be, the ringleader.
Yeah, you don't have to be everything for everybody, and I think that when you surround him with other pros, I would definitely like to see how that plays out. But he's hit some shots too, where I'm like, come on, man, that's crazy. Where I'm sitting on the bleachers, just about half court, and he's standing right in front of me, and knockdown. And that's just like, man, to see his shooting ability, and again, just mental toughness for them and building what they built and building a brand and still maintaining as an elite basketball player on an elite platform. That's not easy to do, man. So big shout out to them. Sister tough too. Seeing her, hooping too. She's giving dudes buckets.
She might shoot better than him, you know. And
yeah, absolutely. So shout out to them.
Shout out to them. You know, I think that his route that he's taking will be the best route for him. Hopefully it will work out for him in the end. And shout out to them. You know, they've been with us for 2 years. So shout out to Brand Prodigy, the Newmans, you know, Prodigy Prep. Appreciate y'all and what y'all did. I think that might do it for this episode, buddy old pal.
And I appreciate you having me on, man. Before I go, I'd just like to say, man, to every player that's in the grind session, man, again, please take it upon yourself, man. Check out media.ballersbridge.com. Get your film. Mikey, you can speak to this, the importance of game film. I've seen your highlights from your times playing football and the work that you put in. So I'm sure you understand the importance of game film. And unfortunately, like myself, I didn't realize the importance of it, whether it was because of recruiting, whether it was because of me watching myself on film and getting better as a player. And then now we talk about social media. We talk about the Newmans. We talk about Jalen and building a brand. It's all important, and it all starts with high quality content. The grind session has made an effort, has put up, the importance of having this for everybody. So I encourage players to go there and check it out. And then also the college coaches, man, really want college coaches to recognize that this is a platform where the players are prepared to come in and make a difference because of the journey and because of what they go through, back-to-backs and playing in different cities and flying and traveling and competition. They're ready to come in. So I encourage all the coaches to come in and check out the coaches portal so they can easily find these players and bring in some of the guys like the Tracys and the Selton Miguels and some of the players that we're talking about. That's going to be difference makers, man. We'll save some jobs, save some time and some money, and really will shine at the next level when they're not getting all the hype and attention at the high school just because, who knows, but we're going to help them get there.
Once again, I want to give a big special shout out to, Gerald Cannon, Ballers Bridge. He's a very important piece to the grind session. He may not realize it, but, he does a lot more for us than a lot of y'all do. And we very much appreciate it, and we would definitely never take advantage of what you do for us. You always going to be family for us, and it's always love and reciprocation, in that area.
Hey, likewise, brother. Shout out to Grind Session, Mike Dog, one of the hardest workers in hoop. And I definitely want to have you on, talk more about how you transition, out of being an athlete into what you're doing. But, man, you're doing everything, and making a huge difference in the space. And, man, it's going to be exciting to continue watching you grow in media and everything you whatever you decide to do, man, you're gonna kill it. So, my brother, I appreciate you.
Man, I really appreciate it, my boy. Y'all go check out the site. You heard what he said, Ballers Bridge. The media is there. Tell him again what it is.
Media.ballersbridge.com. And don't sleep. Come and get your content. You can easily download it, or you can DM me at Ballersbridge on Twitter or Instagram. We're going to make sure that we take care of you. And then also shout out to the homie Skylar. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to Chris. Everybody behind the scenes at Grind Session, man. Dan, Scott, everybody, man. You guys are doing an awesome job, man. Just keep killing it.
Appreciate it,
Changing
man.
the game.
Appreciate it, man. It's been a joy working with you these past couple years. I enjoy what the future holds for us, my man. And I'm telling y'all right now, wake up and go check the site out, because you ain't going to get these clips. You ain't going to get this content nowhere else.
Nah, don't sleep. Man, don't sleep. We got you.
It's time to wake up, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you, bro.
Session. Appreciate you, man. I'll talk to you
in a minute.
Y'all.